reindeer.
big dogs. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they had a couple of greyhounds, and they were dressed like deer.
Yeah, red noses.
At least they were wearing some.
But yeah,
lines.
that's they have the right.
Yeah,
they absolutely
right
have the right to go through there.
It's their land too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the safest thing to do, but I mean, if they do it enough, then only the bad hunters would be there to even notice them, right? Because it wouldn't be a good place to hunt.
Actually, I like to find out where they're going and then get down trail from them, because then they drive the deer towards me.
Right. Yeah.
And
sure.
you can shoot and gut one right in front of them, and that's always fun. Yeah, Martha, we're going to eat tonight. Look at that liver. Oh, you ever see a liver like that? And those tree huggers just they throw up.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay. So, do you want to move on
to the show?
I mean, we are moving on. Do you want to talk about the bad news that makes people angry, or the other news that makes people angry?
Well, let's talk about the news that makes people angry.
Okay. Which one?
I don't know. Pick one.
The big one?
Sure.
Talk about that.
My
local what?
My running for mayor?
Yes.
Oh, no, not doing that.
Yeah, we don't really need to go into too much detail about what necessarily happened, right? But talking about the shooting in San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
There's an N.
I've been
Bernardino. Me too.
San Bernardino.
I've been there as well. Not recently.
Kind of high desert, hilly.
Yeah.
Dry, deserty.
There's a valley.
Yeah.
So apparently the married couple, I think they're married.
Yep.
That's the word on the street anyway.
New parents, 6-month-old child.
The big
now an orphan.
Yeah.
Sad to say.
I mean, horrible case of workplace violence.
Yeah. We should do a checklist. I'm sure somebody has, to whether it meets any kind of standard of terrorism.
Well, so yeah.
We could do a checklist, but it would be racist.
But what is terrorism? Well, okay.
I was terrified.
Right. So what I heard today on, I think, I don't know, Fox News or something on the radio, might have been ABC actually, but they are sure that the couple worked alone, right? But
I don't know that they can say that yet, but
okay, I'm telling you what I heard.
Okay,
they're sure that they worked alone,
and I'm disagreeing with what they're saying.
But they cannot rule out terrorism, right? So what is terrorism then? If they did in fact work alone, right? Just those two, they planned it, they did it themselves.
An individual acting alone can do an act of terrorism, right?
Absolutely. Right. So what is terrorism? Going into a place and shooting it up? Or is terrorism a motive?
Well, generally, I think it would be a motive. There's a political, ideological motive to terrorism. Yeah, I mean, I think it's different from just murder. I mean, it can cause terror. What? There's no question. But
what is it?
We can look up the government definition of terrorism, which meets just about every right-wing gun owner.
We've had that discussion on this show. It does. Right? It's a term that gives more leeway to the government to restrict freedom.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Isn't I mean,
it's a reason for the feds to get involved.
When we're so.
It's a reason for the feds to get involved.
I'm not saying that there isn't terrorism, and I'm not saying that the federal government shouldn't be involved in some cases of international terrorism.
What I'm saying is they can call anything terrorism and get the feds involved.
That's my point.
It's a very loose term.
When we're so bent on figuring out if this label applies or not, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, 14 people were killed, 17 or so injured. It doesn't matter what we call it. Whether it's terrorism or not, you should try to find a motive, right? Find out if they're connected to the street gangs in Detroit, or maybe ISIS, or maybe the Paraguayan military that we passed on the way here,
or the M13 or whatever that group is. Biker gangs and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I mean, when 9/11 first happened, everybody was worried about terrorism, and I know that there was a state worker that was disgruntled and mailed some white powder to his boss when the anthrax was going around.
Yeah.
And, that was reported as an act of terrorism when it was just a workplace kerfuffle. So was that terrorism? I don't know. He did it because he was mad at his boss. It wasn't necessarily a political or ideological motive for that. So who knows? They're still investigating it. It could go on I'm sure it will go on for a long time. And the Obama administration are very reluctant to label it terrorism.
They did say they wouldn't rule it out.
They wouldn't rule it out, but I mean, that's like saying, monkeys could fly out of my butt. I'm not ruling that out. It's unlikely that
I've ruled that out.
Yeah. Well, you've been down there checking. So anyways, what? It's a little...
Yeah, that's nobody's business.
So they're my monkeys in my butt. And what I do with my monkeys and my butts, my business.
I was listening to...
But I'm saying the Obama administration, reluctant to call it terrorism for political reasons. They don't
absolutely for political reasons, because Obama stated hundreds of times.
I'm just glad it's not a white, young male liberal Democrat this time.
Yeah.
Because that gives white liberal Democrats a bad name.
It does.
Even though all of the liberals say it's a white young male, and they stop at that.
Yeah, well,
but they want to say we're all the gun nut, crazy, conservative, right wing Christian people, but they can't say that.
They actually almost every time the first report is connection to the Tea Party. Right. I mean, that's
been
they're
a registered Democrat and worked for the Clinton campaign or something.
Yeah. And this person worked for the county government, so obviously Democrat. I mean, if you work for the government, right?
I don't know if I'd go
liberal
that far.
Anyway.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Made a heck of a living for San Bernardino, right? Like $53,000 a year.
That's good money to a lot of people. I don't know why you poo-poo it. Just because you make five times that.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm saying it is a good living, but California in general, and especially in this area around L.A., it's an expensive place to live.
Right. Probably explains why he was living with his, mom, dad, or his sisters and
I forgot
brothers.
Yeah.
Estranged from his father, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Because his father seeked out a divorce, or he divorced his mother.
It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters,
kind of does. There's religion.
The only thing that matters is that the male shooter had a dating profile online.
Yeah.
And it said he liked to do target practice.
That is important.
Yeah. So he has, in fact, before this incident, he has shot a gun before. And so what's really important about that is that guns are bad.
And he read a lot of religious books, which is good, right?
I don't know.
Well, if it's the right religion, right? I mean, that's what people say.
I don't know.
I just brought that up because I know how you are with religion. You don't like it and everything.
I don't like you.
Well,
that's what...
I'm kind of like a god to you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, kind of.
There you go.
Kind of. I don't know. Is there anything else that we need to say about it? I was listening to the shootout and everything when on the the scanner.
You and I were actually listening to the live police scanner.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. It got intense.
PMing each other like, "Oh, did you hear that? Ooh!" And you couldn't do it because you were busy somewhere. You could only listen to the thing on your phone. But I was watching the news thing, so I was seeing some of the stuff live. So Nate was like, what are you seeing? What happened? And I said, there's the car, the SUV's all shot to heck, and looks like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. It's relatively rare to have a mass shooting and have one of the shooters be female.
And or have two people. It's only happened twice in the last 165 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there have been 355 mass shootings in the last year.
Yeah, you want to talk about that statistic for a little bit? If you investigate that's done by an internet group, so it's reliable. It's truthful. It's done by Reddit.
Yeah, right.
Where anybody can add stuff to it.
If it would have been done by an internet talk show, that would be much more reliable.
We could have done a better job. At least we could have cited our sources. They count a mass shooting as somebody with 4 or more people hurt, injured, or killed. Where the FBI's official definition of a mass shooting is 3 killed or more.
Right.
Which can include the shooter in both cases.
Yeah.
So every time there's a drive-by shooting in a gang and a couple people get broken glass from the glass shattering nearby, or they trip and fall and hurt their knee, or they get shot, they count that as a mass shooting.
Sure.
So, yeah, there's been 350. There's been thousands of shootings in the country every year. There's 4,000 in Chicago so far this year, of almost half of them being fatalities. They don't like to talk about that.
No, they don't. They don't like
they
to talk about...
They certainly don't like to talk about the fact that the shootings in Chicago are almost always done by gangs that are black or Latino.
Yeah.
Because you're racist if you say that.
Right.
Because what does that have to do with it? Because
it's
demographics in culture have nothing to do with anything.
Right. They don't. And neither do gun control laws, right? I mean... They're
not racist at all. That brings up another point.
I'm not talking about the gun control laws being racist. I'm talking about the San Bernardino in California isn't one of the most gun-friendly areas in the country. Yeah, but neither is Chicago.
But San Bernardino County actually issues concealed pistol licenses.
Yeah, sure.
One of the employees in that place apparently ran to his desk and got his gun.
I don't think that's what happened.
That's what he claims. I heard it come right from his mouth.
Yes, he
didn't have it on him, but
he wasn't He wasn't working for the county. He wasn't in that meeting.
No, he was.
He was in a nearby business.
Oh, I thought he was in the same building. I thought he was.
I don't know. We can speculate.
I don't know. I thought he was working.
I think he worked at Pizza Hut.
No, he didn't. So, my point, which was I can't remember now.
Yeah, good. All right, let's take a break.
Oh boy. I was on a roll, and now
you just said you couldn't remember. Do you have anything hilarious to say? No? Okay, we will move on.
Wait a minute. What about a trivia question? Always before the break. This one's an easy one. You just got to think about it a little bit. Which president was the only president who did not represent a political party? The only president that did not represent a political party. There you go. That's it. Now you can go to commercial. Steve? My Parents Open Carry, the new international children's book sensation. Bill Maher had this to say.
My Parents Open Carry.
Thanks, Bill. What a great recommendation. Hey, Bill, what makes Brenna's parents different?
Mom and Dad are both safe because they're packing.
And Stephen Colbert, what's the book about?
And it tells the heartwarming story of Brenna.
Nice summary. And Stephen agrees with Bill on what makes Brenna's parents different.
Unlike other parents, Brenna's mom and dad carry loaded weapons openly, which might make her feel different. But her father reassures her that, Brenna, there is evil in this world, and we want to protect you the best we can. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. What a beautiful bedtime story.
And be sure to check out the #1 best-selling children's book in government category at Amazon.com or at myparentsopencarry.com.
At odds.
Hey mom, tired of getting paid peanuts working for someone else? Tired of that job interfering with trying to be a good mom? How'd you like to be in total control of your time and make as much money as you want to? Go to Income51.com for free information on hundreds of work-from-home business opportunities from the Mom's Business Network.
I'm a single mom, and when I found this opportunity, I was able to make $1,200 part-time my first month, fire my boss, and now work from home full-time around my kids.
What mom wouldn't want to fire their boss, still make great money, and have the freedom to live the life she wants?
I was working as a corporate executive. I never had time with my family. Then I got downsized. I decided I was never going to work for anyone again. What I like about this is I get to be my own boss, work at home around my family, and provide a great lifestyle.
Go to Income51.com for free information today. That's Income51.com. Start earning great money as soon as next week. That's Income51.com. Income51.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Carlisi from the band 38 Special. The mainstream media has failed the American people once again. Internet radio networks like Red State Talk Radio will not fail you. Tune in 24 hours a day. Studios A and B. Great